Question.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So a couple of years back, I represented the seller for a shopping center. We sold it 1031 exchange, got my 2.5%. Value was $3 million. Now, that was a real estate, commercial real estate. Now,
Yes.
there is one of the doors is a restaurant. I became a good friend with a person, and now I'm gonna sell it.
Okay.
So he reached out to me, but my issue is he's still paying rent to the landlord. So apparently the new owner has to sublease, whatever you call it. How do you value his business? So I tried to go online to find out. I told him, how much do you make a month? And he told me, well, sales is around $93,000. And with his expenses, restaurants are not the most profitable business. So they make 15 to 20% profit after he pays all those bills. So my question is more specific for restaurants. How do you value? And also, how do you value for other businesses? And how can I help him list the business for him? Do I go to LoopNet? Do I go to CoStar? Do I go? So you see, my question is very basic. So I hope you can help me or guide me through this.
Sure. So are you an independent broker, or who do you work for?
No, I work for EXP. I work for EXP Residential.
Okay. So if you're with EXP Realty, you cannot sell businesses because their errors and omissions insurance does not cover it. So they will not allow you to do business transactions, period.
That's it. Okay. You shut it down. Okay.
Yeah. So the best thing you can do, Samir, is just refer it to a business broker. What state are you in?
In Houston, Texas.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have some brokers with EXP that I know that are in Texas. And so if you can just send me a chat in Workplace or something, and I can connect you up. But yeah, I mean, you're going to need to refer it because Realty will not allow you to do business transactions at all.
Okay. But still, can you answer me this question? How do you value?
Yeah, sure. So businesses are valued based on their historical financials typically, and so you're looking at their generally we're looking at the last 3 years of tax returns, P&Ls, and balance sheets. And so the multiples, so you're looking for calculating what we call seller discretionary earnings. And when once you calculate the seller discretionary earnings, then you apply a multiple to it. So in its most simplistic terms, a business value, if you want kind of a formula or an equation, a business value equals earnings times some multiple. Okay. Now the earnings is typically on a small business is typically going to be seller discretionary earnings. And what that is the seller's salary, whatever they pay themselves, plus any discretionary perks that they may have. Maybe they're paying for their car payment through the business, or their kids' college tuition, or whatever. So all of those. And then, your general EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So you're always going to add back your interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. So that's going to give you what we call seller discretionary earnings. And then based on where that value falls, there's a multiple that's going to be applied to it. Now, if you're dealing with a small restaurant where the SDE is under $100,000, or any business for that matter, where SDE is under $100,000, then typically you're looking at a multiple between maybe, 1 to 1.5, or 2 at the top. And you're only going to get to that too if maybe your earnings is like 85,000, 90,000, something like that, and you're in a part of the country where the cost of living is not super high, like New York, Florida. Well, Florida's getting higher. I mean, there are a lot of parts of the country, depending on where you are in Florida, could be very high. But like Nashville, Nashville has a very high cost of living now. California, pretty much anywhere is going to be high. So yeah, it's going to be harder to get a 2 multiple in an area with a high cost of living, because ultimately people need to make more money than that. So they're not going to be willing to invest a lot.
So when you say multiple, you mean a multiplier by 1, 1.5, or 2?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For the monthly gross?
No, the SDE, the discretionary earnings. So let's say by the time they calculate out, let's say you calculate out that a seller's discretionary earnings comes to like $55,000. Well, that business is going to sell somewhere between 55 and 75,000, maybe 80,000 tops.
A month?
No, okay. No. We're talking about annual.
Oh, okay.
And the seller's discretionary earnings, again, that's calculated by taking your earnings before your interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization. So you're going to look at the tax return, which is for the whole year.
Okay. And
if their earnings, whatever that taxable income is at the bottom line, let's say the taxable income says $22,000. Because we know that a lot of businesses mitigate their taxes, right? They don't want to pay taxes. So they're going to put as low a taxable income as possible. That's normal. So let's say we start off with $22,000 as taxable income. We add whatever interest, any taxes that they paid, and depreciation, amortization. So let's say that gets us up to 60,000. Then what is their compensation? What did they pay themselves? We add that on. Okay. And then what are the other benefits and perks that they had, like their car payment, their kids' college tuition, things like that. So if we can get that number up to, let's say, 200,000, we got SDE of 200,000 for the year. Now that business is probably going to be worth somewhere between 2.5. So you're going to be looking at 400 to 500,000 for that business.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Now you answered me clearly. I mean, the only other answer I got, I'll just multiply with 3 to 4 months.
No, I mean 3 to 4 is 3 to 4 is. You can get 3 to 4 if your SDE is up over $500,000, but in this market today, the lenders are tightening up, the economy is questionable, and so the lenders are tight, the buyers are scared, the interest rates are high, and at the end of the day, what we sell as businesses is cash flow. We're selling cash flow, and so the cash flow has to be high enough and has to be sufficient to pay the debt service on whatever loan they're going to get, and pay them a cost of living wage, right? And give them a return on their investment. So business values have come down simply because interest rates went up, and because of the instability or questionability of the economy right now.
No, I agree. I mean, the last 3 transactions I did with the shopping, the warehouse, and multifamily 40 units.
Yeah.
All of them have been 2 1031 exchange and 1 cash. None of them was leveraged via bank. None of them.
Yeah. Well, I would say that if you're primarily focused on commercial, I don't know. I mean, you said you're with eXp Realty, but everything you just named off is all commercial properties. So if you're primarily doing commercial properties, you may want to switch gears. You may want to come over to eXp Commercial, but then you're not a member of National Association of Realtors or your state board of realtors and all that. So
maybe it's a good idea not to be.
Yeah, it could be, right? It could be.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll,
Sure,
I'll
of
send you an
course.
email.
All right, very good.